What's your emergency?
Welcome back to That Weewoo Show, a podcast where we watch and discuss episodes of the ABC show 911. I'm Bex.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Ellen.
As we say every week, thank you to everyone who has listened to our episodes so far, and a special thanks to those of you who have shared our episodes, shared our social media posts, or rated us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We do appreciate it. We also very much appreciate everybody who has reached out and commented either via our social media posts, in our DMs, or on our website, thatweewooshow.com, in the episode notes. Shout outs this week to Nick, who is Lady Namala on Blue Sky, who reached out to educate us as to how bar tabs work, which we were pretty much right on the ball when we said that what happened in the episode FOMO is not how it works in real life.
No, unless they wanted to pay for all of the drinks.
At least now we know if we ever want to open up a tab in a bar in America, we know how it works.
Thank you also to Kira, our serial commenter, who sends us comments on Blue Sky usually, who said that she was tearing up listening to the FOMO episode and remembering how sad it was. So sorry that we made you sad, but also it was kind of a great episode.
Sad.
We liked that one. It was just a very sad. And she enjoys May and Eddie's dynamic, which was also very, very, we agreed with you on that one. And we also, as always, thank you so much to Pigeon for commenting on, sending us like epic comments on every episode. We love you. And I'm just going to read it out because they say something PTSD arc for the pretty man so fandom can make him better. The show took him tired and stressed out so we can fix the pretty man. Fandom will make the pretty man better. Ellen or Alice can make him better. Bex can make him hornier.
I
Which
feel
is so true.
called out, but also valid. So this episode doesn't help me at all either. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
Pretty man very pretty in this episode.
He is very pretty
indeed.
in this episode.
Yes.
And petty. Pretty and petty.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess before we start discussing the pretty petty man in this episode, we should remind ourselves and you, the listeners, what happened in the last episode.
Yeah, last week on 911, Henren turned into vigilantes, Bobby and Buck outed themselves as MAFS fans, Maddie got to experience one of G's milestones, and Eddie absolutely doesn't think about a life he could have lived differently.
No, not at all.
While gulping water.
All right, so this episode is episode 16 of season 5. It's titled Mayday. The 118 races to the rescue when the 911 call centre goes up in flames. Bobby risks his life to save a trapped May and Claudette. Buck and Eddie work together to help an injured electrician, and Chimney and his brother team up as firefighters for the first time. All of that happens in the one emergency, basically.
Yep.
I think there is only one emergency in this whole thing. Is that right?
I mean, technically 2 if you count the initial cold open with the police chase, but the 118 don't respond to that, so we can not count it. So yeah, definitely the dispatch fire is the emergency for this episode.
Yeah. So this is our old friend Juan Carlos Cotto, we know writes great stuff. So, and this is a great episode. I love this one. It was terrifying, actually. I was halfway through just going, what? I can't look away. My fingernails are stubbed. So it was good.
Yeah, the way he builds tension and then holds the tension throughout the entire episode is so good.
It's so good.
But we don't start out with that tension immediately. It does build up all the way through.
No, but we do get dropped straight into an emergency. Like, there's no lead up to it. It's just bang, we're in the middle of the dispatch floor and an emergency is happening.
Yeah. But I don't think we see any of what's actually happening. It's just all what's happening at dispatch.
No,
we hear.
no, it's really, I really like the way that they set this up. So we as the viewers are in dispatch, so we kind of only hear what is coming through over the radio, what the dispatch is saying. But there are big TVs set up around the dispatch floor, as we've seen in previous episodes, and as we see here, because May and unnamed dispatcher number 23 is standing there watching one of the big TVs. Because Channel 8 news helicopter is following this high-speed police pursuit. And so there are moments through this sort of opening sequence where we hear the LAPD giving updates through to dispatchers and dispatchers giving instructions to LAPD. And while we hear what is going on, we can also see what is happening via Channel 8 News on the big screen TVs. I really like the way that
they don't have like an actual police helicopter to chase these people. It's the news helicopter, which is...
Well, I don't think we would get the footage from the police helicopter because they don't actually have cameras.
But dispatch might. If they're getting their source of what's happening from the news than from an actual... They would probably get like
the helicopter chopper could give them feedback, but again it would just be talking. But using Channel 8 News and their cameras, we get to see what is happening on the ground without actually having to leave dispatch and leave the immersion of being in the midst of the dispatch emergency, which is a really really nice technique, and I really enjoyed it. Because I hate how sometimes when you are stuck, or you are put as the viewer in sort of the point of view of, say, dispatch, and then all of a sudden you're on the street following the guy that's being pursued, or you're in a car following the guy that's being pursued, and you're like, no, I thought I was like following dispatch for this scene. Why am I suddenly in another point of view? I like that we get one point of view, but they just use the techniques of having the TVs to help us get visual aids to match what we're hearing.
Yeah, it works really well.
It does.
So yes, this is a high-speed pursuit.
Yeah, so May realises when they're watching that other people are going to start calling because the pursuit is, still going. So they hurry back to her, and this unnamed, dispatcher person hurry back to their stations and start answering calls. But May answers a call, and it's not like a bystander. It's someone who says, yeah, my boyfriend's driving the car that you're chasing.
This is so funny.
This guy's girlfriend has actually just rung up, and you can hear the guy on the phone going, what are you doing? Hang up now. What are you doing? And she's like, he's going to get me killed.
She's like, I just want to make sure that you guys know that I am not involved.
Yeah. And the driver does not want to pull over and surrender peacefully.
No. So while May is talking to Doreen, who is the driver's girlfriend, Claudette is talking to LAPD and managing the pursuit. And so when May lets her know, hey, I've got the girlfriend on the line, Claudette's like, well...
Yeah, tell her to make him stop. And she's like, yeah, I've tried that. Like, good try.
Yeah, I tried that. He's not interested. And Claudette is in fine Claudette form and simply says, well, try again.
Ugh, she's so
like, we're 30 seconds in and already I'm ready to strangle Claudette.
Yep. There's tensions happening. There's bitchy Claudette.
And May looks like she's ready to strangle her as well, but she asks if she has any idea where they're headed. And the girlfriend's like, probably to his mama. He always goes to her when he has a problem. The guy's just like, what? Are you crazy? Don't tell him that. So anyway, May is trying to tell Claudette what's happened. Oh, they go back and forth, and eventually he does slow down, and he's gets out of the car and he's on foot.
Yeah, because I bet he was headed to his mama's house, and then as soon as Doreen tells them that he's heading to his mum, he's like, well, I can't go now, so I don't know where to go, so I'm just going to get out of the car and run.
Yeah.
So we're getting sort of Claudette's managing it through the police. She's also talking to Linda, who is apparently managing the airship, i.e. the helicopter. May is still dealing with Doreen, but she notices on the big map of tracking the locations that she recognizes the area, that she had a call in this area last week. And she says to Claudette that if this guy's on foot, have LAPD take this particular alleyway between these two streets, they'll be able to cut him off. And Claudette just dismisses her out of hand. She's like, no, like, not now. I don't want to hear from you right
literally,
now.
like, waves her hand, like, whatever. I don't even care.
And just continues talking to Linda. And you can see May is getting pissed off. Especially...
she's like, I fucking tried, but sure, whatever.
Especially when LAPD start on foot pursuit of this guy, and Claudette tells them to take the alley between these two streets that May had just told her about.
Yep.
And May's in the background going, excuse me?
Yeah. And of course, it works. They cut the guy off, they get him on the ground, and then they call in that they're all clear, code 4. During this whole thing, Josh has arrived on the floor. He is obviously the manager of the day. And he is, like, once again so far up Claudette's ass that we can see the top of his head peeking out of her as she opened her mouth. And he's like, hey, nice job. That alley cutoff was inspired. And Claudette's like, yeah, it seemed like the obvious call. And, like, once again, taking May's ideas and claiming them as her own.
Yeah, she took all the credit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Like, she could have so easily been like, oh yeah, like it was May. But no, instead she's just like, oh, it just seems so obvious. It's like, fuck off, Claudette.
Yes, and May is obviously very upset about it because when she gets home, she's not getting home. She goes over to her mum's for breakfast, I would say.
Yeah, I was looking at the food on the table. It looked like breakfast. Or, timey-wimey. I'm not sure. But she's gone over for breakfast.
Know. At some point, she's gone for a meal with Athena and Bobby. And she's bitching to them about Claudette. Apparently, Athena had more than a few sergeants just like her when she was coming up. And Bobby encourages her to stand up for herself and talk to her, work it out. And May's like, well, I thought I did that, but obviously it didn't work. So she's actually thinking of going to college to, like, get away from her.
Yeah, just to get away from Claudette.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that college acceptance essay? Or, like, the essay that you have to write. Like, why do you want to go to this college? Because there's this absolute cunt of a woman that I work with and I can't stand her anymore. Please let me come to college so that I can do something other than work with Claudette.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky she's already been accepted into college, so she,
Yes.
Oh, but yes.
Yeah, but Athena's got to go to work. No, hang on. No, May's got to go to work. Yeah. And then Bobby's like, oh, maybe you should go talk to Claudette, to the dinosaur, as he calls her. And Athena's like, oh, no, I promised her I wouldn't do that. And Bobby's like, maybe I should go. No.
First of all, he tells her to go in and talk to the manager. Like, go over
go talk to Sue.
And talk to Sue.
Athena's like, I'm not an idiot. Like, no.
My name is not Karen. I'm not going to do that.
At which point Bobby says, well, then maybe I should go in and talk to her. And Athena says, don't you think that's a little extreme? And Bobby's like, you mess with my kid, you mess with me. And Athena sort of just looks at him, and then you can see Bobby running back what he just said. And then, I don't know whether he's apologizing to Athena, because he says, like, you know what I mean. So, like, is he apologizing to her for presuming to claim May as his child?
Yeah, is he, like, embarrassed to have said that?
Yeah, and then, like, and Athena's...
It's presumptuous. Like, I know she's not actually my kid. She has a dad. She has a mum.
Yeah, but Athena's like, no, it's sweet, but don't go down there, Papa Bear.
Ugh.
Actually, this whole episode is a little bit Michael Erasure. Because later she calls him her dad, and I was like, whoa.
No, but she does say, I've got 2 dads. I mean, technically she's got 3 dads, if you count David.
Yeah, I guess.
It's David Erasure is what it is.
They're not married yet. Well, maybe they are
Erasure.
married by now. I don't know how long it's been, but yes.
Who knows? We're never going to find out because he's never coming back.
No.
Anyway, he's been told not to go down there, so... I mean, later he doesn't have a choice, but he won't go down there just to tell on Claudette.
No.
Then we go to this really cute scene where Chim is helping Albert look for a place to stay, like a flat to move into.
Yes, because he can't stay with Buck because Taylor is now living with Buck. And
Lucky
with
Taylor.
both Maddie and Chim back... he can't stay at Chimney's apartment anymore. Or maybe he could, but Chim's kicking him out in...
I think he's just sick of couch surfing and finally getting his own place.
Maybe. I mean, we don't really get the reasoning for it, but...
I have a feeling Chim's kicking him out because he says, your days of couch surfing, guest room haunting, and general freeloading are coming to an end. So I feel like this is being motivated more by Chim than it is by Albert.
Yeah.
Yes. Albert is a little bit reluctant, mostly because he's not sure how he could afford an apartment, because the apartment that they're looking at won't do month to month. He'd have to lock it in for 6 months, and he's not sure if he can afford 6-month-long leases.
Yeah, but this place has like a huge pool and the gym has a Narcissus machine. I'm like, no, don't get that. That thing makes you like go to hospital. We've been there.
I don't think was Chim wasn't there for the Narcissus emergency though, so he doesn't know.
Wasn't he?
Because that was Eddie and Hen working together for the first time as paramedics, and Buck torturing Ravi.
Oh my god!
that's
So
funny.
Chim has not been introduced to the terror that is the Narcissus machine.
Okay.
So Chim's like, this thing's great, and everyone else is like, no.
No.
I mean, arguably, it was that guy's fault because he didn't stop when the machine told him to stop. So maybe the Narcissus machine is not as bad as it sounds.
Error.
Yeah,
it's just a nice little callback for the audience.
Yeah. I like it when you do that.
But back to Albert, he is questioning whether he wants to continue working as a firefighter. So it's not that he's getting fired, as Chim suspects, but more that he's questioning whether he should just continue to work as a firefighter, if he should quit and do something else. Because the job is a lot harder than he thought it would be.
Yeah. Poor Albert. He looks really, defeated. But Chim's trying to, buck him up. He's like, come on, you were born to do this just like me. And then Chim takes, apparently, when you go to see places in the US, you get cookies to make the house smell nicer. So they take one on the way out. I don't know how long they've been sitting there for, but a free cookie is a free cookie, right?
Yep. Definitely. Yes, so they leave to look at more places. Maybe score some more cookies.
Yeah.
That's why I'd be going.
You get, a free meal. Just go see a few
Not
places
just
and
cookies.
get a handful of cookies. Yeah.
They never do cookies for open for inspections here.
No. I've only ever seen it on TV.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to eat something that someone else had cooked and left on the bench.
Yeah, how long have they been sitting there?
Hmm.
How many other grubby hands have grabbed at them?
True.
Ugh. Anyway, back to the dispatch center. Apparently, there's some stuff going on with dispatch because they're they're going paperless. I thought they already did this because remember when everything shut down and they had to go back to paper? Like I'm guessing they weren't fully paperless after, because now apparently they're going paperless, and it's like making Josh really stressed basically today.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they were printing, but yeah.
It must be, remember that episode, I think it was Maddie and Athena were sitting in the conference room going through boxes and boxes of old 911 calls trying to find
Yeah, but they were really old ones.
Yeah,
Wasn't it
so
from
maybe
years and years ago?
So maybe this is like they're digitizing all of that. Anyway, it has absolutely no impact on the rest of the storyline. It's just a throwaway reference.
I thought it was weird I thought that we'd already done this.
Yeah, and I mean this scene. The only thing that this scene sets up is that Josh is fucking up his iPad and he constantly needs Terry to like help him log back into stuff and fix the settings that he must be a boomer as when it comes to his iPad for the purposes of this episode. Constantly needing Terry just to hold his hand and help him like log it back into his Outlook.
Poor Terry, I feel sorry for him in this one.
I'm not making this up. The line is literally Josh comes running over to Terry complaining that his tablet is acting up, and Terry sighs and rolls his eyes and says it's probably user error again.
He says it's more like a parade. He says he didn't realise it was going to be a parade. Like a convoy of people have come past with trolleys with stuff on it. So Josh is like, why are these people in my way, you know? And Terry tells him it's more like a ballet. And then Josh makes this comment about Twyla and Fosse, who I'm guessing are ballet dancers.
They're not, though. That's the point. So I knew who Bob Fosse was. I had to look up who Twyla was. So Twyla, she was a choreographer in the 70s. She was a ballet dancer and a ballet choreographer. And sort of her big sort of claim to fame as far as Wikipedia was concerned was that she innovated mixing classical ballet with modern music and modern dance.
Oh.
Fosse, on the other hand, was like 30 years earlier and was a pioneer of modern jazz. So they're completely different styles.
And there's no relationship to anything that's happening here.
No, so either I have absolutely no idea about dance and there is references.
I mean, jazz ballet is a type of ballet.
Yeah, but Fosse's particularly, his style of dance is it's not jazz ballet. It's a very particular style. It has absolutely nothing. Look, I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about ballet and choreography and dance. I can't see the connection between these two. So either I'm missing something, and if anyone who is listening knows way more about the history of ballet and jazz and dance, please let me know if I'm missing a reference. What I'm thinking is that the writers have gone, Josh is a gay man. Gay men know all about dance and theatre and ballet because they're gay and that's what gay men like. We're just going to throw choreographers' names out to make it seem like Josh knows what he's talking about because he's gay and therefore he would know what he's talking about. And the audience, who are mostly like straight, are not going to have any idea, but they're going to hear these names and they're going to think Josh knows what he's talking about.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of what's happened.
Like, Terry is channeling the general audience here when he says, after I Google what that means.
Yeah.
Which
and Googling just makes it worse.
Yeah. Anyway, Eddie is there today. And apparently he has been putting Linda onto a creamer, a superfood creamer made from coconut milk and marine algae. Which sounds...
The algae is where they get the calcium.
That sounds really disgusting, but okay. Linda loves it, so okay.
I like coconut milk in my coffee.
The algae, though?
I'm assuming that whatever they've done, if they've extracted the calcium from the algae, so it doesn't actually taste like seaweed.
Yeah, it wouldn't taste like seaweed.
Yeah. But the whole obsession with coffee makes Linda say that Eddie has become one of them, because I'm guessing dispatchers are obsessed with coffee for the keeping them awake and alert.
Firefighters must be as well, though, right? Because they're
I guess you don't really get time to just sit and drink coffee as much, so...
But I'm also guessing if you're constantly at the whim of the emergency alert, you don't have time to make fancy coffee. You drink it black, because that's what you can get out of the pot.
Literally.
Which we have... So. I think we've seen Chim or Buck, like, literally drain...
one of them was literally drinking out of the pot. Yeah.
Yes, because that's all they had time to do before they had to race off. So yeah, I don't think they would have time to mix up a fancy creamer with their coffee. Whereas at dispatch, they have plenty of time to do that. But Linda's comment about Eddie being one of them makes Eddie get real awkward real fast. And Linda picks up on it.
Yeah, and Linda says that her mum used to say that you can tie yourself in knots trying to find a career that suits you, but at the end of the day, God will tell you where you need to be in this world. And Eddie's like, well, I hope he hurries up and tells me,
Yeah.
Like, I love this transition. He's like, well, I hope he gives me a shout soon. And then all of a sudden you hear May shouting from across the dispatch, you took my ambulance? Like, not quite the shout Eddie was hoping for.
Yeah.
But everybody turns to look to see what's going on.
I'm guessing they don't often have screaming matches on the middle of dispatch floor.
No, probably not.
May is also not shouting at Eddie, she's shouting at Claudette. Because apparently May had dispatched an ambulance to her caller, but Claudette felt that her emergency was a higher priority, so she redirected the ambulance to get to her call first.
And she's like she said, did you get a unit there? And May's like, yeah. And was your victim alive when you disconnected? And Linda and Eddie are just like sipping their coffee to watching.
They're literally just sipping their coffee and watching. They're like, yep.
This is great. Coffee and a show. And then Claudette and May get incredibly bitchy and incredibly snide with each other. And May's like, it's not the point that the guy was alive when the ambulance got there. And Claudette is, but it is, sweetie. That's exactly the point. I'm like, oh my God, don't call her sweetie.
Ugh, she's annoying.
Yep.
Which is exactly May's reaction, because they continue backwards and forwards and Claudette goes like, sweetie, for another second time. And May's like, I am not your sweetie.
This is where Sue finally steps in.
Finally. Which is funny because Sue is like, enough, come with me. And Claudette's like, finally, get your girl, Sue. And Sue's like, no, both of you.
Both, yep.
And you can't see Claudette's face because the way they've put the camera, it's to the back of the actress. But I can imagine she's got like a "who, me, what did I do?" look on her face.
I'm so innocent.
Mm-hmm.
But May immediately gets up and stomps off, following Sue, and Claudette kind of very slowly gets up and walks off the floor. Josh missed the show. I would have loved to have seen what Josh would have reacted, what his reaction would have been if he'd seen it. But he's pressed the wrong button on his iPad again, and he needs Terry to help him fix it. So he's gone in search of Terry.
He's hopeless. But
he doesn't find Terry.
No, down in the server room, it's not Terry. There's a different guy there. And he's like, you're not Terry. And this guy's like,
Master,
he just left.
He's a master of perception.
Yeah, good job, Josh.
Observation, that's the word I'm looking for. He's a master of observation.
Yes.
So Josh is like, okay, cool, you're not Terry. Like, starts to walk off and then goes, wait, cute guy. Turns back around. Who are you?
Who are you again? It's cute.
And this is Carson. He is installing the new clean agent system in the server. Josh is like, right, yes, clean agents. Much better than dirty agents, am I right? And then you can see the immediate regret on his face.
Yeah, he's just like, no, I swear, I know what it is. Because Carson's like, it's a fire suppression system, and Josh is like, no, I know. Dispatchers know all about this stuff. Then he does the exposition, which actually works quite well in this.
Yeah.
Although, like, I'm pretty sure Carson also knows what it is, so he could have just said.
No,
yeah,
but
I
I
know.
think
Like...
I think Josh is trying to prove that he actually does know what he's talking about.
Yeah, rather than just being like, yeah, I totally know this.
Yeah,
but yeah, it uses the inert gas to suck all the oxygen out of the room.
Yeah. And bless him, Carson is just like, okay, dude. Like he's amused by all of this.
I think
Especially
he's
'cause
charmed.
Josh
Yeah,
keeps
he's
making
charmed.
jokes. He's like, the system will suck all the oxygen out of a room. And like, I thought only my mother could do that. Carson would like, yeah, it would, suffocate her pretty quick. Josh is like, yeah, leaves you breathless. I always wondered what that would felt like. I'm not that I'm like feeling breathless right now, looking at you.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's
no,
the worst
totally
flirting
isn't the
ever.
most awkward. It totally isn't the most awkward meet cute we've like in the history of the world.
But it is so cute until
cute.
he goes, wait, I should introduce myself. My name is, and then Carson says, you're Josh. And you can see all of the alarm bells go off in Josh's head. Like, all of the walls are going up, all the defense systems are coming online. Because he's never met Carson before, so how does Carson know his name? Because the last time somebody had information about Josh before Josh met them, Josh ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that until later when he asks like whether they do background checks on people who come. And I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Josh.
Turns out that Carson just asked Terry who he was. Because Terry was giving him a tour and Carson noticed Josh and asked who he was. Because he also thinks Josh is cute.
Ooh.
But they're both incredibly awkward and it's adorable.
It is a bit cute.
I was sort of thinking, like, because I knew that there was going to be a fire, and I was like, oh, I hope this guy doesn't turn out to be a bad guy, like,
I
purposely
know, like,
setting
I
a fire.
couldn't remember, and I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me he's a bad guy. Like,
Josh needs some happy. He needs sunshine.
I think if this guy ended up being a bad guy, then Josh would just become, like, celibate for the rest of his life. Swear off
it's like,
men
that's it.
completely. Yep. And Carson can tell that Josh is kind of shutting down on him, so he's like, I'm just gonna go down to the basement. And Josh is like, oh, I'll come with you, like, to the elevator, not to the basement, because that would be weird. Because, dispatch is upstairs.
Yeah.
It's...
You know what? You're right. So cute.
So they go their separate ways, but they're very cute because they're kind of giving each other sidelong glances as Carson walks away. It's adorable. I like Carson. Carson is such a funny character in this.
Yeah. Well, I hope we'll see more of him. Don't tell me.
I'm trying to think. Anyway, Claudette and May are not funny though. I mean, they are.
Yeah, they're not
funny.
having a good time.
They're not having a good time. They've been taken to the principal's office, pretty much. Which would make sense if they got dragged to Sue's office, but she's instead stuck them in the quote-unquote quiet room.
It kind of looks like a principal's office.
It looks like a therapy room.
It does look like a therapy room.
It's apparently designed for dispatchers who need a little time off the floor. Sue is using it as a timeout room in this case.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like for, like, if you've had a really tough call, you're supposed to go in there to relax. It's got like a little Zen garden in it.
You mean you're not supposed to sit in the conference room, which is like all glass windows and
we've
doors
never
so that
seen
everyone
this room
can
before.
see you?
No, we've never seen, like, did they just build it after Maddie's last breakdown? Like,
Yeah.
Like, we cannot have dispatchers breaking down in front of other dispatchers. We need to put you somewhere.
we'll put them in the closet. It's fine.
Unfortunately, what happened was they can't go in the all-glass conference room if there's going to be a fire that they don't know about. So therefore they had to come up with this room. But yes. So they've been, you guys have to stay here to hash
But also
things
the fact
out.
that they haven't told any of the dispatchers about it either. That, like, because Sue's
Yes,
like, oh yes, this is the quiet room. And Claudette and May, who, like, May's been working there for a year, Claudette's been, forever.
Yes.
And none of the, like, nobody was just like, oh, by the way, if you have a really tough call, like, you can go to the quiet room. No, it's just a room that they literally made for this episode. They were installing it at the same time as the clean agent, and they just forgot to open it.
Whoops.
Anyways, speaking of installing the clean
Mr.
agent,
Clean Agent.
we
in the
follow
basement.
Carson down to the basement. I have no idea what happens down here, but
I don't know, he's fucking around with wires. I don't know.
he's doing something. He sets up this weird, like, he calls it a suppression blanket, but it looks like this little box with a tiny little. He looks like he's a gynecologist, like he's doing electrical work via as a gynecologist, kind of going through this tiny little hole to connect all the wires together.
Yeah.
I don't know. So if anyone was
might be
hoping that we...
It might be to, like, protect him from sparks or,
But it just seems
electric
so
shock or something.
awkward, and it doesn't work in the end, so...
No.
So anyway, Carson's down in the basement fucking around. Terry has returned to the server room. He was obviously just avoiding Josh. And as
He saw Josh coming and he went,
Valid.
I'm not here. You never saw me.
Yes, exactly. So he returns to the server room. He lets himself back in. Very ominously, we notice that as he buzzes himself in, the door locks behind him. And he's looking for Carson because he got alert about the new fire suppressant system that's coming online. He doesn't find Carson, but he does find sort of a switch box, fuse box thingy that's got like lots of red lights on it, and it's beeping and all sorts of alarms are going off. So he does the obvious thing, which is he hits the giant button in the middle that's labelled in very big letters, emergency reset.
I wonder what that's supposed to do.
Well, it doesn't do anything to start with. Like, he hits it and nothing happens. So he hits it again, and it sparks and shocks and shocks Terry, sending him backwards a little bit. And if he thought that shock was bad, he should have been down in the basement with Carson, because dude gets a full-on arc blast. And the whole thing just explodes.
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't care enough about what actually happened to find out what actually happened. But I mean, it's quite dramatic. Like, he totally like fully explodes and sends him flying across the room. So.
Electricity, spark, go, boom, big fire. That's all we need to know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, everything, like, in dispatch just flickers a little bit. But Sue apparently is like, oh, I should probably go check on whatever that was. It's like, what? Okay, sure. But she does tell Claudette and May not to kill each other while she's gone because she can't spare the resources.
It's like, you guys just sit here quietly and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually care about either of you. I just don't have the time nor the money to train up new dispatchers if you do kill each other. So,
yeah,
it's
too
a
much
lot of paperwork when your dispatchers murder each other, so...
But it wouldn't be that much because they're going paperless now, so it would be all be on the iPad.
Yeah,
That's
which
right,
Josh still can't get into.
Yeah, it would just take them twice as long because they can't work the iPads.
Yeah.
Especially not when Terry is slowly being suffocated down in the server room. Because the fire suppression system, despite whatever circuitry Carson was dealing with exploding, it has recognized the sparks that happened when Terry pressed the emergency reset button, and Terry's got like 2 nanoseconds before to run before the system kicks in and starts sucking all of the oxygen out of the server room.
So Eddie's computer has blown up. Probably not blown up, it's just there was a power surge, so I guess the power has gone out.
I don't know. He's futzing around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, God forbid he can't tweet about what's about to happen.
Yeah. And apparently Josh got the alert that... So, yeah, Terry must have got something away because Josh did get an alert about the fire suppression system. He's like, did you get it too? And then he's like, yeah, the power surge. And Josh is like, no, the alert.
Like, why would your social media / media liaison be getting alerts about an internal fire system?
Yeah.
Look, I know that it's just Josh trying to find an opening to get Eddie to go downstairs because Josh is embarrassed and he doesn't want to go down and talk to Carson again. But it's a really awkward segue.
Yeah, especially since he tells Eddie that he met the guy who was installing it, and Eddie's like, well, why don't you go talk to him? And Josh is like, oh no, I can't. I got the floor. Can't do that.
I embarrassed myself earlier.
It's more like Sue. Like, Sue put me in charge, so I can't leave the floor. And Eddie's like, okay, fine. I will go down and talk to the cute guy that you are too embarrassed. Do you want me to take a note? Like, do you just want to scroll on a piece of paper? Do you like me? Yes, no boxes. He can get him tickets. Bring it upstairs.
Look, yeah, I'll ask him for his phone number, but this might not go the way that you want. And Josh also says that Sue is dealing with, and Eddie's like, oh, yeah, I heard that. And Josh is like, everyone
he was
heard.
there. He was there. He saw it happen.
Yeah.
But he does go down to the server room to try and find Carson. He doesn't find Carson, though. He finds a server room full of gas and a gasping Terry on the floor.
He immediately transforms into like his firefighter mode.
Firefighter Eddie, yep.
Yep.
Badass. His key card won't let him go in because whatever happened with everything else that was going on, it also affected the door lock, so that door is now locked and nobody can get it open. So Eddie decides to use the fire extinguisher on the wall nearby. It's very, very cool. Like, he bangs it on the glass a couple of times to get a weakness and then just turns away and literally yeets the fire extinguisher at the glass to get it completely shattered.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, glad Terry wasn't right under it because those things are heavy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he breaks the rest of the glass so he can get in there. And he tries to... He does the sternum rub thing on Terry. I'm like, ow, it hurts. We've tried that one. But
it works. Terry wakes up.
Terry can't really move much, though, because he's got no air. So Eddie just lifts him up on his shoulders and carries him out. It's like, oh, Fireman Eddie, he's back. Yay. So then he goes and finds there's like smoke coming out from under a door, so he goes and finds that there's a fire.
Yes. So he does the correct thing. He pulls the nearest fire alarm. And then you can see him sort of already, I pulled the fire alarm, next step, moving on, and then goes, wait. And goes back.
Nothing happened.
Because nothing has happened. There is no sound. There is no alarm. The sprinklers haven't kicked in. So he's banging on the fire alarm to see if he can make it work again. And that doesn't help.
Yeah.
like this whole time he's been carrying. You remember that walkie-talkie that he had that he stole or he got from somebody when he was listening to that call back on whichever episode it was, with the.
Oh yeah, he's still got
fear,
it.
Fearophobia.
I thought it'd be confiscated. No.
He's still got the walkie-talkie from Fearophobia, and he's brought it down with him, which is excellent foresight on his part, because he can then use it to open up a channel to everybody in the building. And I don't know if we have to take one shot or we have to take 3 shots, because he says the episode title 3 times.
Yeah.
Because he says, "Mayday, mayday, mayday, this is firefighter Eddie Diaz. We have a fire at Metro Dispatch. This point of origin appears to be on the 2nd floor. All non-essential personnel begin evacuation procedures. Repeat, this is firefighter Eddie Diaz. Metro Dispatch is on fire."
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Firefighter Eddie's back.
Yay. I missed him. He's been so sad.
He has been so sad.
So apparently God saw that he was sad and decided to send a fire to to show Eddie what he should be doing.
He's like, it's fine. God will send you a sign, and God's just like, ha ha ha, here's some fire.
Here's a guy with no air and a fire in the next room.
Yeah.
Excellent. Meanwhile, May and Claudette are just like sitting around poking at stuff in the room because they're bored.
Yeah, May's got the teeny tiny little rake, and she's raking in the teeny tiny little Zen garden.
Yeah. And Claudette has a stress ball that she's squeezing. But they're bored out of their brains. They're like, can we leave and just tell them that we worked it out? Or... They need a plan, apparently. So May's like, well, let me see if I can figure one out, and you can take all the credit again. And Claudette is just a complete bitch. She goes on this rant about her panties are in a bunch. I'm like, oh, fuck off. She's so annoying.
Calls a baby girl. She's like, let me tell you something, baby girl. There's no I in team.
Oh, she's so patronising.
Sounds like there's an I in your team. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, dispatchers are trying to get out of there, and obviously the 118 have also been called to this. But there's like multiple firehouses there.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to work out at what point Albert comes in. He's later though, right?
A little bit later. Not much later, but a little bit later. So we mostly see the 118 racing up, but we also see a captain's battalion car pulling up as well. And another fire captain gets out. It's almost like they're racing to see who gets first on the scene first, so they become the incident commander. And the other captain cedes commandership to Bobby, saying that he was the first one on the scene.
Yeah.
The other captain being
you're in charge.
Captain Mary. Yes.
Yeah.
Who is actually Captain Shaw, but I'm just going to call her Captain Mary for the entire episode.
Yeah, because it is Mama Winchester.
Yeah.
Is it?
How
did I not recognise her?
Yeah, it was Sam
I didn't even look at her. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm going to have to go back
Winchester.
And watch it again.
Like, to be fair, she's only in a couple of scenes, and like she's got the giant helmet on, but yeah, it's Sam Smith. So,
oh, okay.
Like our first direct 911/supernatural crossover.
Excellent.
Like my original notes from the episode is like, is that Mama Winchester? It is Mama Winchester.
It is Mama Winchester.
No, absolutely blanked on her. How embarrassing. Call myself a Supernatural fan.
I know, right? Jeez.
Anyway, I was obviously distracted because Eddie comes out of the hospital with Terry.
Yes.
And he tells Bobby everything. He basically just lays it all out. He's like, okay, this is what's happening. It's on the third floor. Hen, take Terry, go over there, fix him up. It's like,
yeah,
whoa.
Eddie's like, hello, I am the incident commander now. And Bobby's
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah.
Like, I've been in the center of this incident. I know what is going on. I'm the command. Bobby's like, actually, bitch, I'm the incident commander. So he tells Hen to take Terry and set up a triage area in the parking garage next door. And Hen's like, yep, cool, I'm gonna need a hand. And the camera zooms sort of past all of the other firefighters that have sort of gathered around waiting for their orders. And Jonah goes, well, it is Monday. And you can just see Hen go, ugh, fine, you'll do.
Like, you're here, it's fine.
Yes.
So they head down to the parking garage next door. Hen sort of hands over the control of setting up the triage to Jonah so that she can work on Terry. Jonah immediately, gets his bossy boots on. It's like,
He's
I want this, I want that, I want that.
And then stack up the bottles, give me plenty of room to work. I need my space. It's like, fine.
Yeah, why does he need his space?
Well, they've got plenty of space in the parking garage.
Just ironically that he's telling them to move all the vehicles, and Hen's using one of the vehicles to prop Terry up so she can examine him. I'm like, actually, those vehicles would probably come in handy for a little bit longer. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So while they're doing that, Chimney is being ordered to put together a team to go to the right side, the delta side of the building, and start hitting the windows. And this is when we realise that Albert is here, because the 133 have responded to the call.
Yeah.
And
I don't know whether he was
be still a probie, but he's allowed to come to this one.
He's not just sweeping the...
Because probies are allowed to respond to emergencies when they're not under Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
And Albert is, excited when Chimney picks him to be on his team. He's like, we get to work together. It should be fun. And Chim's like, rookie, you do everything I tell you.
Never mind.
Okay, maybe it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, and Bobby tells Buck and Lucy that they're going inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Barney Stinson. He's like, Buck, Lucy, suit up. But they do indeed run.
They do to suit up, just different kind of suit.
Yep.
Back in detention, they've swapped places. Claudette's now lounging on the couch. May is the one pacing backwards and forwards. And I'm guessing that the quiet time has gotten to her because she suddenly starts venting or verbalizing to Claudette. Like, you're right, maybe I did want the credit and the validation. But maybe I was trying to stand up for everybody. I don't know what that means.
No, she was trying to stand up for herself.
Yeah.
But not everybody.
Yes.
But anyway, Claudette says that's kind of deep.
So then they get it this real deep and meaningful conversation where Claudette asks May why she's not in college. Because May says, well, you think that's deep, you should have read my college essay. And Claudette's like, girl, why aren't you in college?
Yeah, you're a child, go to school.
And May confesses that, she wasn't ready. But she's out of time and she needs to make a decision. And Claudette is like, okay, you need to quit dispatch. May's all like, yeah, you'd love that, wouldn't you? And Claudette's like, yes, but no. She tells her that May has her whole life ahead of her. She needs to get out of dispatch and go to college, hang around with people her own age, fill her head with knowledge, do some things, crazy things, courageous things, naughty things. Because the job comes with a price and Claudette doesn't want May to have to pay it. And she ends her little monologue by saying, it was surprisingly nice from Claudette.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Claudette, very nice.
Yes. And she ends it by saying, you know that I'm right. And May's like, yeah, because you're always right. She's like, well, yes, but also because if you had really wanted to be a dispatcher for the rest of your life, you would have already thrown that letter away. The one telling her she needed to make a decision about college.
Yeah.
She's such an odd character sometimes. Like, I don't know whether to, half the time she's a complete bitch, and then occasionally she has this, really actually kind of nice moments. I guess most people aren't all bitch or all nice, but in real life. But, I don't know. I don't know which way to feel about her.
Maybe it's because we've only ever seen her from May's point of view. So if we're looking at her from May's perspective, then yeah, she's a bitch. It'd be interesting if we ever had to see her through someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
It's obviously, you've got a note here in the notes, that says that they're getting a bit more shiny. Like it's starting to get hot in the room.
Yeah, I noticed that in this run through. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're starting to feel the heat in the room. Very, very clever. Very nice attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're having their deep and meaningful. Sue has been escorted from the building down below, and she's talking to Bobby about having to they need to set up a mobile dispatch center so that they can continue taking calls even after they've evacuated the building. And mentions that there are still 5 dispatchers taking calls upstairs, and they won't stand down until they get the mobile dispatch set up. And Bobby's like, cool, so May's out? And you can just see Sue go, oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
And Eddie sees Sue's face go, oh shit, and like, wait, May's still up there? So he's like, I put her into timeout with Claudette. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about them. Bobby's like, okay, cool. Where's the detention room? It's behind main dispatch on the 3rd floor. And Captain Mary goes, that's exactly above the source of the fire. Yep. So he's like, oh my God. Bobby immediately just turns to Eddie and goes, Eddie, get turnouts now. And Eddie bolts.
Aww,
and then
Dad
he
knows what
then
Eddie
he turns
needs.
And then
he needs all the help he can get at the moment.
It's pretty much it's just he's thinking May is up there. I need I need my best people on the job to get May out of there. And then he turns to Captain Mary and says, "You're the new IC. I'm going in." So he follows Eddie over to the truck where Lucy and Buck are gearing up. Eddie's grabbed the spare turnouts from the truck and he's gearing up. Buck doesn't bat an eye at the fact that Eddie is gearing up. But he sees Bobby come over and start grabbing the oxygen tanks. Like, wait, why is Bobby going in? Like, dude, it makes sense for Bobby to go in because, he's an actual active member of the 118. Why are you questioning why Eddie's going in?
Buck's just admiring Eddie and turnouts. It's fine. But yeah, Eddie's like, yeah, May's still up there. And Buck's like, oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, let's go. And Lucy's like, I feel like I'm missing something. And Eddie just goes, family history. Let's go.
And then OG buddy shipper number 1, Bobby immediately changes the assignments because it was Buck and Lucy are going inside together. Now,
it's
Buck
been
and
Buck
Eddie
and Lucy
are
this
going
whole
inside.
time. Yeah.
Now-
And he's just like, yep, Lucy, come with me. Eddie, get with your boyfriend.
Yay. Dumb and Dumber are back together. Woohoo.
Yes, but they're not dumb and well, I was about to say they're not Dumb and Dumber in this episode, but Buck's still kind of dumb in this episode. So, but Eddie has his brain cells. Eddie has the brain cells in this
Eddie
episode.
has all the brain
Eddie-
cells in this episode.
Eddie
He
regrew
does.
the brain cells being at dispatch and that because he was away from Buck. And then they'll slowly vanish again. It's fine.
Buckle suck them away again.
Ayo.
Interesting choice of
In
words,
his dream.
but sure.
Anyway,
That's not helping. That's not helping. That's making it worse.
So yeah, we go back to the quiet room. And they Claudette and May start to acknowledge that it's hot. So, like, Claudette's fanning herself. She's like, why is it so hot in here? May's like, yeah, it's hotter over here. And so they're sort of, like, feeling their way around. And then May feels the floorboards and goes, yeah, something's very wrong.
Yeah, but she's like examining the floorboards going, it's really hot just here on this spot, something is wrong. And then they turn around to see the door, which has a window, and the window is freaking orange because the fire is right outside the door. So why are you examining the minutiae of the floorboards when you could have just looked out the fucking window?
Just look outside. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, so she opens the door and the hallway is fully engulfed with fire.
They were too busy having their heart-to-heart, right?
To turn around and look at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, so May looks out, sees the fire, jumps back into the room, and then it's just like, Claudette, get back. And Claudette doesn't move. Claudette's completely frozen, just staring at the fire. And so May has to grab her and yank her back in the room. And Claudette's just like, she's clearly panicking and she's like, I don't like fire, I don't like fire, I don't like fire, I don't like fire. And May's like, oh no.
Oh no. The responsible adult in the room is completely broken. Like, the room is on fire and the adult is broken. What the fuck do I do now?
Go to college.
Be a big damn hero.
Be a big damn hero.
Yeah. Anyway, the Channel 8 news helicopter is at it again.
But we got Taylor this time.
Taylor is there this time, yeah.
Yes.
Taylor says that the dispatch centre has suffered some kind of power surge and sparking a fire. Just really catching everyone up on what's going on. Thanks, Taylor.
Yep.
Just in case you have been on your phone the entire episode.
Well, like I was apparently, because I didn't even see Mary. Claudette is still freaking out. May says that there's no other way out. But someone
May
has
has
to be
left
coming.
the room and gone to investigate the hallway. Yeah. But yes, she's putting trust in the LAFD that someone is coming to get them. So she starts doing sort of preventative measures. There's a little mini fridge in the quiet room filled with bottles of water, so she's grabbing those, intending to sort of wet down their jackets and cardigans and sort of shove them under the door to stop the smoke from getting in.
Mm-hmm.
But while May is being proactive and trying to do everything to help, Claudette's just shut down. And she's just like, nobody's coming. Nobody can save us.
Yeah, she's having a bad time.
Yeah, Claudette's like full meltdown mode.
She's just completely shut down, and May's getting... May literally, like, rips her cardigan or her jacket off her. She's like, give me your jacket so I can wet it down. And when Claudette doesn't move, she's like, okay, fine, I'll take it off you myself. And as she takes it off, Claudette, she sees the massive burn scars across Claudette's back. And she just kind of stops and she's staring. She's like, oh my god, Claudette. And Claudette just whispers again, I don't like fire.
Yeah. So, seems that Claudette was in a fire.
Claudette was in a fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, the theme of this episode is everybody facing trauma that they've already faced in the past.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Including Claudette,
Bobby's
who,
child is in danger from fire.
Chim is also going to face trauma.
Yeah. Chim's about to lose another brother.
Chim's about to lose another brother, and Claudette is being thrown back into the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much fun.
And also, Josh is trying to get a boyfriend who may or may not be a psycho.
Yes, a little bit minor trauma for him, but yes, he's also facing his past traumas. Speaking of boyfriends, or people that he wants to be boyfriend, Terry says that he's fine to keep working. He goes back to Sue, and Sue tells him that they've reconciled the duty roster and the visitor log, and there's just one person unaccounted for. and that is Carson. So they've left Carson in the building.
I mean, to be fair, no one knew where he was.
No one knew where he was. They've finally remembered him. So Captain Mary gets on the horn with everybody, saying that she needs 2 firefighters to go down on level 2 to look for Carson. Eddie steps away from where he and Buck are trying to get what looks like a records room, the fire under control, and says that he and Buck are on level 2. They've swept the whole floor. There's nobody there. Josh has been listening in because apparently he's also got a walkie-talkie now. Maybe he stole it back from Eddie. I don't know.
These dispatchers are so noisy and
so
nosy.
He butts into the conversation and he's like, "This is Dispatcher Russo," and Josh, and you can see Eddie go, "Oh fuck, okay, go ahead, Josh. Why are you butting into firefighter conversation?" But Josh tells them that Carson had told him that he was going down to the basement. So he's not on 2, he's down in the basement. And he can meet Eddie on 2 and then take him down to the basement to show him where Carson is. And Eddie's like, "No, negative, stay where you are, we've got this." Puts the radio down and just yells for Buck. And I love the fact that these two haven't worked together for months. But immediately they're back on the same wavelength. Because all Eddie says is Buck. Sync. And Buck immediately knows what Eddie wants. And he's like, "Okay, cool, I'm going to pass the hose off. I'm going to go and do what Eddie wants. What Eddie needs."
Mm.
So he hands off the hose, runs after Eddie. But Josh, meanwhile, on dispatch floor is like, "I can be there in, like, I'm right by the fire stairs. I can be there right away." And then Eddie's like, "Josh, you are a dispatcher, not a firefighter. Today, you're a guest in this house." Mic drop. Boom. Runs.
Take that, Josh.
And Josh is just like, he's been waiting months to say that.
Such a good line.
It's so perfect. And I love that the way that they've got the two scenes. You've got the way that they sort of mirror the two scenes with Eddie breaking into the call to try and help out and Josh smacking him down, and then that's exactly what happens here, but in reverse. Josh tries to break into the call and Eddie smacks him down.
Yeah.
Love it. And I just love Eddie can be so petty and so sassy.
Yeah, very sassy. Okay, so Sue's still trying to get the mobile dispatch set up. But they've worked out that on the roof, if the fire gets all the way to the roof, then the radio tower is going to go down, and that means that they can't actually respond to anything, even if they get the mobile thing set up. So Captain Mary tells Chim to go up to the roof and make sure that the tower is secure.
Not the roof.
Not the roof. I'm like, oh no, here we go, not this again. So Chim and Albert are heading for the roof, and they're cutting holes in the roof to, like, this. We saw this happen last time, right? We were wondering how they can just stick a chainsaw through the roof, but they're doing it again this time. Yeah. They're trying to bind something to the tower to secure it in place. So. And Albert he's higher up on a higher level than Chim at this point, and he leans on it.
The tower's up on this little kind of elevated platform, I guess, to get it higher up so that the radio waves have more space. I don't know, but he's up above the actual roof level. And there's a metal railing, like safety railing around the platform to, keep everybody who's up on that platform safe. It does a terrible job because Albert barely leans on it and the railing completely collapses, snaps at the joints where they're welded together, and he falls. And I love the fake out of this because you've got Chim and his brother going up and then to the roof, and everybody remembers what happens to Kevin, And so Albert falls, and you're thinking, shit, this is it. He's going to lose another brother. He falls like maybe 10 feet. It's not that far. And he's completely fine. He's a little bit embarrassed, but he's completely fine. Chim saw his entire life flash before his eyes. It's freaking the fuck out. Albert's like, yeah, no, cool. He gets up, dusts himself off, and goes back to working to secure the tower. Whereas, Chim's questioning everything he's ever known about anything.
Poor Chim.
Poor Chim.
No, he's like trying to make sure Albert's okay, and he's like, you're not dizzy? Can you see how many of me are there? And Albert's like, thankfully there's just one, because I can't handle any more. He's like, settle down, dude.
Sassy Albert. But like, he doesn't realize what Chim's going through because he doesn't know about Kevin. So he just thinks that Chim's being like over the top.
So May and Claudette are still, waiting for someone to come.
Just hanging out in the fire,
She's like, I don't know why the sprinklers aren't on. And Claudette's starting to get like a bit maudlin. She's like, you think the fire's going to knock? It gets everywhere. It eats everything. And he's like, okay.
Okay, then.
It smells like meat when it cooks you, and your blood burns, and it smells like copper.
Like, oh my God, Claudette, what happened to you?
I'm assuming she got cooked.
At this point,
someone got cooked.
At this point, do you remember the hospital fire in the one Michael's last episode? They had the big hospital fire, and Claudette had the call with the little boy Parker.
Yeah,
that had his baby sister. And do you remember we were mentioning like how panicked Claudette was getting?
Yeah,
when she was talking to Parker and she was trying to make sure. So, like, that was interesting. Now go back and think about that scene in the context of Claudette having survived a massive fire as a child, probably as a child. And then she's trying to talk another child through a massive fire, and how emotional she got when she couldn't reach Parker because she thought that he had died in the fire.
Yeah, well, didn't we say at the time that it almost sounded like she'd been through something like this before, and she'd been traumatized from something similar in the past. So
I don't know whether when they wrote Claudette's character that they had that in mind all the way back in that episode, or whether it's just that one of those things where they've written this one and you can retcon it and it makes sense. I'd like to think that they'd always had this arc set up for Claudette, because sometimes I like to think that sometimes the writers know what they're doing on this show. Not often, but sometimes they do.
That long ago, was it? It was in this season, so chances are they did actually have it all planned out.
I hope so, because it works really well. Because then you think back to earlier episodes of Claudette and you go, oh, that makes so much sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not really an excuse for being a bitch.
No, absolutely not. What the trauma that she went through as a child does not excuse the bullying that she does of May. It's just interesting when you think back to her reaction, because normally when you watch Claudette, she's cool, she's calm, she's collected, but she was freaking the fuck out in that call, and that was very out of character for her until you get to this episode and you go, oh no, actually now that makes perfect sense.
Yep. Yeah, May's trying to reassure her, like, we're not gonna die, we're gonna be okay. And Claudette's like, it only hurts for a second. Then it takes your nerves out and you won't feel a thing, okay? You won't feel it. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, this is super dark.
She's trying to reassure May that it's, they're going to die, but it's going to be okay. And May should just give up and stop fighting. So they're having that conversation, and probably at the same time, Bobby and Lucy have arrived on the same floor, and while May's had that realization from inside that the hallway is completely engulfed, Bobby and Lucy now have the same realization. The hallway is completely engulfed. And just as Claudette froze at the side of the fire, Bobby freezes. Because there's a moment where Lucy is asking him Like, what are we going to do? We can't go to them this way. And it's just echoing. And Bobby is just not responding because once again, he is standing and there is a fire between him and one of his kids.
Oh, poor Bobby. But Lucy snaps him out of it.
Thankfully.
In a minute. But not before the Chaos Twins have to go to the basement level and find out what's happening down there. Yeah. They find Carson and tell him that Josh remembered that he was down there. Apparently he's got a sore leg.
Yeah, his leg really hurts. So Eddie's going to give him something for the pain. Well, actually, Buck's going to give him something for the pain while Eddie cuts at his leg so that he can see what the cause of the pain is. Carson is remarkably sort of lucid and with it, despite the fact that he just got like electrocuted thrown across the room and his leg really hurts. Because while they're working on him, he asks Buck, what's going on up there? Buck's like, oh, well, the building's on fire. Carson's like, well, that's not embarrassing. And Buck's trying to reassure him, it's not his fault. The wiring in the building is really old. And Carson's like, yeah, okay. He looks down to see that Eddie has cut his pant leg, like, right up to his hip. And the reason that his leg really hurts is because he's got an open fracture on his thigh.
Yep.
Ew.
He sure does.
And he's like, oh my God, why did I tell you to cut that so that I could see it?
It's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Why am I looking?
And he's like, look, hey, I know it looks bad, but that's not a lot of blood. That's a good thing. And Carson's like, isn't that always a good thing?
It's like, you're so sassy. Come on.
It's very much shades of like all bleeding is internal. So like internal bleeding is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the blood's supposed to be.
Thankfully the morphine kicks in at that point. And he's a little bit less aggro about the fact that his leg hurts. So Eddie's like, cool, we're going to splint this and we're going to get you out of here. And the morphine hasn't affected Carson's sense of humor. So he says, so, do you think they can fix it, or am I going to be the next contestant on So You Think You Can Sit?
Buck tries to make this better. He does not make this better.
He tries.
Like, hey, listen, I had an entire fire truck full on my leg, and hey, look at me now. And Carson's like, oh, that sounds horrible. Eddie's just like, yep, Buck's telling this story again. Every fucking patient.
Yep.
And Carson's like, oh, that sounds horrible. And Buck's like, no, horrible's the blood clots you get after. Mine was in my lung. I was coughing up blood, and then they put you on these blood thinners. And Eddie's like, Buck, shut the fuck up.
Like, he's just staring at him, like, eyes wide, trying everything he can to communicate just by the power of his thoughts for Buck to shut the fuck up. Yeah. Because this is not helping.
Stop. Yeah.
And Carson's just watching the two of them and goes, you know what, you guys should take this act on the road. You're right.
Game recognizes game, right? Let's get you out of here first.
Yeah, let's get you out of here first, then we can discuss our burgeoning
Then we can take
career.
it on the road.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the Hahn brothers who are doing this thing with the chainsaw where they cut holes in the roof. I still don't understand how that works. But anyway.
They're venting.
Yeah. They're giving because the fire wants oxygen, so if it gets an easy source of oxygen, it's going to head straight there. And then it's not going to eat everything else around it, I guess.
Yep. Fire hungry.
Yes. So while they're venting the roof, Bobby has snapped out of his little frozen trance. And he's calling for May. And like to the point where he actually takes off all of his oxygen mask and everything like that so that he can yell louder so that May could hear him.
Yeah.
And then while Lucy uses a hose to try and like knock the fire down, he goes around the corner and starts wailing at the wall with his axe to try and get into the room that way.
Yeah, May's trying to get... May hears what's happening and
Yes.
tries to get Claudette to move out of the way so that they don't get an axe in them.
They're on the other side of the room, but I think she's more like, okay, Claudette, it's time to go. It's time to get up. Because they're both, like, huddled into a corner of the room together, just, like, awaiting their deaths. She's like, and May is realizing, like, no, someone is actually here. We need to get on our feet. We need to get ready to move.
Mm-hmm.
Claudette does not want to get on her feet. She does not want to get ready to move. She has resigned herself to her fate.
Yeah, she's like, I'm dead. And May's like, no,
Yep.
get the fuck up.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
I like this, like, as the tension mounts, these scenes, like, get shorter and shorter. Like, they keep flicking back and forth to what's happening with each group. So we go to the mobile, dispatch area where Sue's got that working down there. So she tells Josh over the walkie-talkie, we're online down here. We're ready for you guys to cut the power up there. So Josh, who's on the main dispatch floor with the last few people who were up there, thankfully, I guess the fire is not anywhere near them yet anyway, because it still looks okay.
Yes.
But Linda is on a call and she can't hang up on this guy. It's like,
Well, she
can't
probably
you just...
can. She doesn't want to.
No. It's like, can't you've got his number. Why don't you just get one of the others to call him back? Anyway, Athena responds to say that she is on the scene and she's got the guy. So then Linda can actually hang up and get out of there.
Which is none too soon, because as soon as Athena says that she's on the scene and she's got Linda's guy, we sort of hear this explosion in the background. And so as soon as Athena comes over the radio, Linda, like, leaps from her chair and runs. She's like, cool, I'm out of here now.
Yeah. Time to go.
Bye.
So they shut down main dispatch floor. Albert's still on the roof, cutting vent holes. Bobby is still wailing on the wall with his axe. And inside the quiet room, May is still trying to convince Claudette it's time to go. And Claudette is just like, no, she's given up. She's like, you can't win against the fire. Fire doesn't care.
So May decides she needs to insult her to get her moving. You're just a playground bully that likes to pick on little kids. Blah, blah, blah. And then Claudette's like,
You don't like me because I'm younger and more confident than you ever were.
and she's like, you want to die? Do you want to die? And Claudette's like, no. So
It's like,
no,
yeah,
then
move your ass
now.
And so she gets Claudette to her feet and they turn, and then suddenly there's like a Bobby-sized hole in the wall. And like, how the hell did they not notice this massive hole in the wall? Like, I could understand if they turned and then just in time to see the axe breach the wall for the first time, but it's like fully Bobby-sized. Has May just been so focused on Claudette that she didn't see her stepfather breaking through the wall on the other side of the room?
yeah,
But anyway.
apparently. She was yelling at Claudette. Didn't notice.
So they get Claudette up. Claudette immediately collapses. Bobby sort of throws her through the hole to two other firefighters who take her. Meanwhile, May stands patiently in the room that is literally burning down around her, waiting for Bobby to acknowledge her. Like, girl, just run.
Just go, yeah.
You don't need Bobby's permission. Just get the hell out of there.
Yep. And she even waits until Bobby has come into the room and says, "Are you okay?" And before they actually move. But anyway. Then the ceiling is on fire in the room that they go into, and then Bobby kind of shields her because he's got his protective gear on, so he shields her. And then he's like, "Oh, don't tell your mum about that." She's like, "Okay." It's like, I think Athena's just going to be happy that you guys are out of the burning building.
Yeah, the whole fireball's not really Bobby's fault. Like, you can't blame him for that.
No.
So we get we cut down to the main dispatch floor where Lucy is with the other paramedics who are getting Claudette out. And she gets them to the fire door and says, "You go, I'll wait for the Cap and May." Meanwhile, back up on the roof, they're still working on venting. Albert has got the ratchet straps on the tower. It is secure. Everything's in place. Chim's like, "Cool, we're done here. Let's get out of here." He turns to look at Albert, and then Albert literally just drops from his view because the fire has eaten away at the roof, and it's collapsed under Albert's feet. Once again. And everyone who was relaxed before because we thought we had seen the worst when Albert fell from the tower is suddenly like, oh shit, he's actually going to lose another brother.
They are actually killing him. Yep.
They are actually killing him.
They really need to stop putting Albert through it. He's
they
almost died
Chim through it
several times. Yeah, Chim too, but like they keep almost killing Albert, and it's like, come on.
Thankfully, Albert manages to grab hold of the roof, and the rest of the roof seems to be structurally stable enough to support Albert to allow Chim to haul him back out of the hole. But the part of the roof that collapsed under Albert manages to fall into the dispatch room on top of Bobby and May.
Yep. Yeah, I think Bobby sort of pushes May down and gets on top, like, between the falling stuff and her so that he's protecting her. But, very dramatic.
It's very dramatic. Like,
very dramatic.
Albert gets hauled up, everything starts collapsing in dispatch. It falls on top of Bobby and May, and then there's just a couple of seconds of silence where you're just seeing the dust rising from the styrofoam concrete as everything sort of settles, and then it cuts to commercial.
Yeah.
When we come back, Lucy has been apparently hanging out in the stairwell. I don't know how long she's been there. I don't know how far behind her Bobby and May were. But she must feel and hear the collapse. And then we hear Captain Mary come over the radio and says that we have a major structural collapse. All teams report in. And we hear all of the other firefighters calling in. But Lucy, her spider sense is tingling, so she goes back into dispatch. And all she can see is the debris.
Yep.
And then she finds Bobby's helmet, which is not on his head. It's just mixed in with the debris. And so we get our shot glasses out again, because Lucy gets on the radio and says, "Mayday, mayday, mayday, Captain Nash is down." And as she calls for basically all hands to report to dispatch floor, we see the rest of the 118, the stations that they were out. So Buck and Eddie were back down at the truck. They'd taken all their gear off. They were sort of standing down. They're back on their feet and immediately racing back inside. Albert and Chimra are on the roof, and they immediately sprint down the ladder and then back inside to head up to dispatch. The same with Hen. She hears the call over the radio from triage. We don't see her running, but we see her back. We see her up in dispatch later, so we know that she ran. Meanwhile, Ariel is doing her best job to try and make us believe that the concrete girders that she's picking up and throwing are actually concrete and not styrofoam.
Oh my god, they're so funny. They're like doing the best job. They're like, oh, and it's like, oh, it's definitely, yeah.
Look, styrofoam acting must be right up there with coffee cup acting. It's really hard to do well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
you can't flex your muscles on styrofoam. It doesn't work.
I don't think it helps that they do this entire sequence where the 118 race into dispatch and see the debris and start picking up the concrete to try and find Bobby. It's all in slow-mo. They've slowed the speed down, which just makes it so much obvious how not heavy the concrete is.
Oh, the best one is the rebar.
The rebar that wobbles.
That wobbles. And it's like, why is that the shot you chose to... Is that the only shot you had? Like, it literally just, like, jiggles.
It's like they painted Twizzlers black and then stuck it into the side of the styrofoam. And so when they slam the concrete down, the rebars go boing.
Yeah, like, my notes specifically say, why did they focus on some very rubber rebar?
I know. Like, did nobody notice that the
so
rebar was
bad.
moving and that rebar does not move like that?
Yeah,
I
like,
wonder what it is made of.
It'd be rubber.
It's probably
Or do you
not
mean real
Twizzlers.
rebar? Because that's, that's generally metal. But yeah, Chimney would be in no danger from this rebar.
No,
It would have just
probably would
bounced
not
off
have gone
his
through
head.
his head.
Yeah.
But if you notice these things, then yes. But I was too busy being worried about, like, even though I knew Bobby and May were going to be fine, you know, it was dramatic and kind of, I don't know, the music made it extra kind of tense.
Okay, good.
Oh, it is
I'm
a really
glad-
good scene. It's just that,
I'm
yeah,
glad
like,
I-
I was like, what the fuck?
It didn't.
glad it
I didn't
worked on
notice
you.
all the wobbling rebar.
Look, sometimes 911 have these scenes where they like go really heavy on the music and the way that they shoot it and the slow mo because they're trying to like invoke emotion. They're trying to go for the drama, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately for me now, this is one of those scenes that doesn't.
Yeah, like, I really liked it the first time, and now I'm just like, why is it wobbling?
So I'm glad that you got the drama and you got the emotion because, like, Alice and I
Yeah, the first
just,
time I
no.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the entirety of the 118 plus Lucy are pulling this the styrofoam concrete off, and they clear it enough that they can hear Bobby. So they start working double time. They clear all the debris and they can see like the back of Bobby's turnout, and like this is really cute because they see his turnout and they clear even more, and then he sort of pushes himself up just enough that you can see May peeking out from underneath him because he's literally thrown himself on top of her to shield her.
Yeah, it's cute.
And she's like this little baby bird sort of clutching hold of him and then peering out from underneath him when she sees that everything's like starting to... She can see the light because they've cleared all the rocks off her.
Yeah, apparently, like, now that they've found him, the sort of urgency is gone from this scene. Even though the building is collapsing and presumably still on fire, everything's okay now because they have Bobby and May. So...
Like, no, you're right. They literally, like, they sit May down over to the side to do her, like, her physical exam. There's none of this, like, let's get out of the building.
They don't
'cause it's
hurry
on
out
fire.
of there.
No.
Yeah, no. It's fine now. It's vented. It's good.
And Bobby's like, is she all right? And then they're trying to check on Bobby and he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And Lucy's like,
Oh,
yes, that's
Buck
the man
is-
who just got hit by a roof.
Yeah.
Buck is freaking out. Like, Bobby's more worried about May, and Buck's like, wait, are you okay? Because, like, are you okay? Because you just had an entire roof fall on you.
And then Chim
But
says,
he's fine, apparently.
you carry this entire operation on your back.
Yeah.
And we all go, oh.
And then Eddie has to remind Bobby that he's still there. He, like, ducks under Bobby's arm so that he's supporting him, and he goes, I got you, Cap. Almost as if he's worried that, like, now that the emergency's over and now that they've found May, Bobby's gonna go, okay, cool, Eddie, you can go back to dispatch now. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, shouldn't you be updating Twitter? But instead, Bobby looks at Eddie and goes, all right, 118, let's get to it. And meanwhile, Lucy's just off to the side, awkwardly updating her resume. She's literally got a resume open on her phone while they're walking out, just like, yep, was in the 118 until Cap's son's boyfriend came back.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Did manage to do amazing rescue where caught this woman falling from a building through out a window.
Yeah, you can
Cannot
see my
guarantee-
Instagram page.
Apparently that wasn't enough to get me a permanent spot, though.
Nope.
No, I even kissed the guy, and he still wants this other guy back.
So then we get it. It is a really effective shot. It must be. I must have really worked the first time I saw it. The magic is gone now. But we get down to triage, and Linda is sitting on one of the little cot beds getting some O2, and she looks up, and we see the 118 plus Lucy walking in slow-mo into the triage area. And you've got Hen with then Buck and Eddie, and they're propping up Cap. And then you've got Chim and Lucy, you've got May. You've got the emergency lights flashing behind them. They're walking in slow-mo. It's very dramatic.
Yeah. I was just happy. Happy that
big damn hero
that
moment.
Eddie was back with them. Yeah.
It is the big hero moment. It's great.
So Linda's watching them as they walk across the parking lot in slow motion. And Eddie kind of hangs back. I guess he's not sure what he should be doing now, I guess. But Linda sort of looks at him covered in, dirt and with his gear on, and she's like, God has spoken. And Eddie just smiles at her, and yes, I agree. You said in the notes that he's handsome. I'm like, he looks good or dirtied up.
Honestly,
he really does.
I am so down bad for Eddie Diaz because he looks down at Linda. He's looking at Linda. He's not even looking in the camera. He's just looking down at Linda, and he smiles, and I'm sitting in my chair watching on my computer screen, and I melt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just this big pile of goo. And I'm like, I am so pathetic, but also, God damn it.
Yeah.
So he acknowledges Linda, like the callback from, God will give you a shout. This is, God has spoken, and so he runs away from Linda and away, metaphorically, from dispatch and towards his team. Meanwhile, Buck is freaking out a little bit. He's sort of standing in the middle of the triage center looking at something off camera. And Lucy is on the other side, and she sort of looks up and sees Buck. And she's sort of smiling to start with when she sees him, and then the smile sort of drops from her face as she sort of looks between Buck and whatever he's looking at. And we realize that he is watching Bobby get assessed by Hen, like a hawk. Almost like he takes his eyes off Bobby, something bad's going to happen to him again. And so she goes over to Buck, and she's like, he's going to be fine. Because this is Lucy's first time seeing Buck absolutely freak out when somebody, especially Bobby or Eddie, gets hurt. She's never seen the Buck freak out before.
Yeah, she doesn't realise how invested he gets.
Yes. This is not just... it's one thing to get upset when your captain gets hurt, but Buck takes it to a completely different level because that's not just his captain, that's his dad.
Yeah, that's his dad.
And Buck sort of looks down at her and says, well, I'm just glad that you weren't with him. And while those two are having their little moment, the camera focuses sort of in between them and behind them, where Taylor Kelly is still on the scene covering the emergency, and she's noticing these two. And I don't think she heard what he said, but I think she's clocked Lucy's body language and the way she's looking at Buck. And I don't know if we're supposed to think that she knows that Lucy was the one that Buck had the drunken kiss with, or whether she's just clocked Lucy's body language and the way she's looking at Buck and gone, that woman wants my man. Either way, she's got concerns.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
there's
Claudette
lots of
is
meanwhile happening.
There is a lot going on in this. We just go around and check in with everybody. May finds Claudette, who is on a gurney, and Hen says that she's taken in a lot of smoke and they're going to sort her lungs out. And she doesn't, thank May, but she says, you were a real badass in there. You sounded like me. And May's like, I figured you were the only person you'd listen to.
Yeah.
Which,
fair.
Yeah. And she's like, make sure I get the credit. And Claudette's, you finally earned it. It's like, shut up. But anyway.
Let's just note at this point, Claudette is still alive and being a bitch.
Yeah, she's
fine.
Snarky self. She's okay.
Yeah, Hen has said she's fine. She just took in some smoke. She just needs a nebulizer to help her lungs. But she's fine. So May leaves Claudette to go check in on the other person she's worried about, which is Bobby, who is being wheeled out to a gurney on a gurney to an ambulance. And she goes running after him, and one of the paramedics literally tries to coat hanger her to stop her from reaching Bobby. It's very aggressive. The arm snaps out so fast.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that's my dad. I want to ride with him.
It's so sweet. Yeah, Bobby's like, you didn't have to lie. And May's like, I wasn't. I have 2 dads and you're one of them.
This is David erasure.
Yep. Sucks to be David.
Complete David erasure. And we will not stand for it.
No. 3 dads or
but
none.
But he grabs her hand. You can see that he's grateful because, despite everything, he does consider May one of his kids, and this is kind of the first moment for him that he realized that the feeling is reciprocal. That one of his kids considers him one of their dads. So she gets to ride in the ambulance with him.
Damn right she does.
Meanwhile, Josh is kind of lingering around the emergency vehicles. He's clearly waiting for someone or looking for someone. And Sue sort of checks in on him and tells him that he should, take a break because she can see that he's incredibly tense. Looks like he could use a break. But just then, paramedics wheel somebody past on a gurney, and Josh clocks who's on the gurney. He's like, you know what? Actually, Sue, I'm going to take you up on that break. I'm going to take my break over here by this ambulance. And he starts
this particular
to walk away, and then spins around and goes, wait, do we do background checks when we hire contractors? And Sue's like, yes, they're quite extensive.
They're very thorough.
Josh is like, great. No reason, but great. And so he heads back in his original direction towards the person on the gurney, who just so happens to be Carson. I don't really think this is the moment for flirting, but, go for it, Josh.
Go off, yep.
Carson doesn't seem to mind.
Carson sort of lifts his head up to see who's talking to him, sees Josh, and then drops his head back onto the gurney and is like, I feel like I'm terrible at my job. I think this whole thing was my fault. And Josh is like, oh, no, totally not your fault. The building burning down could happen to anybody. We were due for an upgrade anyway. Carson's like, upgrades used to be my specialty. I don't think I'm going to be asked to come back and do this one. Josh is like, well, there's no reason that they can't still be your specialty. Hint, hint, I can be an upgrade. You can be... I can be your speciality.
Yeah.
It's awkward. It's weird, but it's cute.
It is cute.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, how many are we up to? Meanwhile,
I don't know how many.
Chim finds Albert, who's packing everything up, and he's sort of like, I thought I'd lost you there for a second, and Albert's like, you know how they say your whole life flashes before your eyes? Mine kind of sucked. It's like, oh, Albert.
Poor Albert.
Poor Albert.
Poor Albert.
But long story short, Chim says, you know, you don't have to follow in my footsteps. I was so happy that you were, but if you don't want to be a firefighter, then don't be. And Albert's like, thanks, bro. So Albert's not going to be a firefighter anymore, right? Is he actually going to quit, or is... maybe I'll find that out later.
I don't think we see Albert again after this.
I was going to say, do we even see Albert again after this?
What?
I-
Are you serious?
I don't think we do.
So Albert was purely here for Chim's pain reasons.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn, I like Albert. Why does he have to leave? That's so sad.
Hang on, let's check John's IMDb and see how many episodes he's listed in. Well, I guess he's only useful if he's a firefighter. If he's like not a firefighter or causing Chim active pain, then
and Chim's kicked him out, so he doesn't live with him anymore. So
yeah, so there's no
hanging
point
around
to him anymore.
Oh,
it doesn't say on the wiki that it's his last episode.
He was credited for 23 episodes. You going to tell me which 23 they are, or am I going to have to count?
This is the last one.
No, I think is he in next season?
No, he's got 3 more episodes to go.
Okay.
So, but yeah, 3. We're up to season 9, and Albert has 3 more episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like if he's not a firefighter, he's not important anymore. There's no reason to keep him on the show.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. That's really sad.
I know, Albert was a good character.
Yeah.
We miss Albert.
We do.
All right. Meanwhile. Meanwhile.
So the Han brother. Meanwhile, we've had so many meanwhiles that Bobby has made it to the hospital, and he's about to get an MRI. Even though he doesn't want an
there
MRI,
too.
he just
somehow Athena.
yeah.
met
So
them at
she's
the
managed
hospital.
to get to the hospital. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that May called her or Bobby called her. Somebody called her, and she's hauled ass down to the hospital. And she's like going to force Bobby to have the MRI, even if he's kicking and screaming. and
He's like,
Bobby
I don't
tries
need an
to
MRI, just some ibuprofen. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be good.
He tries to like stand up so he can loom over Athena and like, look, woman, you can't tell me what I need to do. But he gets like halfway up to his feet, and then the pain kicks in. He's like, oof, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be kicking. Like I can barely stand.
Yep.
Yeah, and May's like, roof fell on you, and you saved my life, so get the damn MRI.
You're getting... Yeah, May's like laying into him just as much as Athena is.
And Bobby says, oh, you did tell me not to go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, you didn't go down there to like talk to Claudette or Sue. You just like
No,
I don't think that's really
work.
It was work related. Yes. So while Bobby goes off to get the MRI, we cut back to the waiting room where Lucy comes strolling in. I don't know where she's headed. She seems to be headed in the opposite direction of everybody else.
They all turned up at the hospital with Bobby.
Yeah. Taylor is standing by the nurse's desk near the doors, and as Lucy comes waltzing in, Taylor calls her name, and Lucy kind of spins around looking for who's talking to her and sees Taylor. And Taylor starts to introduce herself, and Lucy's like, no, you're like, yeah, I know who you are. I've heard a lot about you. And then Taylor doesn't say anything. She's just kind of staring at Lucy, and Lucy sort of like is being polite and goes just waiting for Taylor to speak, and it gets awkward fast.
Mm-hmm.
So she's Lucy's like, did you want a comment or something? And the camera very briefly focuses on Buck, who's on the other side of the waiting room hanging out with his boyfriend, and he notices that like no, he's literally in the other side of the room with Eddie.
Yeah. I was like, what are those two doing over there? Like, you only see them for a moment. Just enough to show Buck kind of clocking that they're talking to each other.
And then doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So Taylor kind of gives Lucy the shovel talk.
Yeah.
She tells Lucy that she doesn't know what the 118 means to him. And she doesn't say Buck's name to start with. She just says you don't know what it means to him. She's like, I know all firefighters probably feel like family at some time, but for Buck, that firehouse is his family, and when things get messy at the 118, he falls apart, and I would hate for things to get messy again. And then she kind of like just turns and walks away, leaving Lucy standing there like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's a weird like talk. It's like,
it's
what?
weird if Taylor doesn't know that it's Lucy. So it's like, does she know that it's Lucy?
Yeah.
I think it works either way. It's either it works because she knows that Lucy was the one that kissed Buck, and she's kind of trying to tell Lucy subliminally, like, I know. But it also works if she thinks that Lucy likes Buck, and that she thinks that Lucy's going to make a move on Buck. She's like, you do not do that, not because he's my man, but because it's going to fuck things up at the 118. So it kind of works either way. So it's
yeah, I guess so.
It's a good scene. No matter what interpretation you take, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I don't know if Buck would even attempt to do anything about what just happened, but before he can, Hen comes out to give them an update on Bobby. It turns out he's okay. He's got some pain in his leg. It might be a pinched nerve in his back, which is like, of everything that could happen to him, considering he just had a roof fall on him, is probably the lesser of all evils.
Yeah,
he got away
fine.
Very lucky. And they marvel at how lucky Bobby got, if like a pinched nerve is all he ended up with. The conversation doesn't get any further than that, because all of a sudden Jonah comes racing into the emergency room, sitting astride Claudette, doing
so Jonah is riding Claudette's gurney. Like, Claudette's flat on a gurney, Jonah is like on top of her doing chest compressions, and he's like, come on, like, you're gonna make it, and he says that she coded in the ambulance, and they say that the patient suffered cardiac arrest en route and there's no pulse, and she's been down for 12 minutes. So they call it.
So when Jonah was pushed in, Hen and Lucy immediately go racing after him. Lucy because, like, Jonah's her buddy. Hen because the last time she saw Claudette, who was with Jonah, Claudette was fine. And by the time they get to the point where the doctor calls it, they're around the back where all of the sort of examination rooms are, including where Bobby and May and Athena are, and May watches them push Claudette in and then pronounce her. And she's also like, what the fuck, the last time I saw Claudette, she was fine. And the doctor calls it, they pull the sheet up on Claudette and then push her off to wherever they take them in that hospital. And Hen goes up to Jonah and says, like, what happened? She was fine when I left triage. And Jonah's like, pressure bottomed out, couldn't get a rhythm back. It's weird. I should have been able to save her. I usually save them. And then walks away.
Yeah, he doesn't look too upset about it.
No, he just looks confused.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I usually save them. Oh well, on to the next one.
Yeah, and Hen also looks confused. She's like, what just happened? But yeah, May doesn't understand either.
No, and later Hen says that it was weird. And we cut to her and Karen sort of doing a debrief in the kitchen later that night. And she specifically says the I should have been able to save her line. The way he said it, like Claudette was a math problem or a missed point in a tennis match and not a human being. And I guess when you're sort of in the 118 and, you know, you lose somebody and you have a complete breakdown over it, like we've seen various members of the 118 do when someone dies on their watch, Jonah's response is very out of the ordinary. And so Karen's trying to play devil's advocate, saying, you know, like, maybe that's just how he reacts to grief. That's how he packs away what's happened.
Hen's not convinced, though.
Yeah, no.
And Karen says, you never liked him, so maybe there's a reason why. And so Hen now thinks that Monday is a psycho. And I'm just still really confused by the entire last part of this episode.
Okay, so what do you think happened?
Well, I mean...
Yeah, what are your theories
what's your read on Monday right now?
I mean, I'm kind of with Karen in that, like, they probably see people die all the time. And if he packs it away that way, then okay, maybe he'll break down about it later. But he did look extremely, like, nonplussed that he just, you know, failed to save someone. Whereas we do see the others, like Hen, especially if something doesn't go her way, she does get quite upset about it. So yeah, I don't know. No, I really don't know. It's I'm guessing there's going to be more coming up. I'm hoping that Hen and Karen aren't going to be like going on their vigilante, like, you know, let's investigate what's going on with Jonah. But maybe
the only reason I ask is as soon as I read the summary for the next episode, it's got massive spoilers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I kind of want you to lock away what your thoughts are about Jonah before I read that, because as soon as I read it, it's going to change everything.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm guessing that there's, like, at the moment, plausible reasons why he could be like that aren't like that he's actually a psychopath. But now, tell me what is happening in the next episode. Spoil it all for me. Go ahead.
Okay, let me just unspoil that so that I can read it. So, next week, after a mysterious death, Hen and Chimney put their lives in danger when they suspect that someone is playing God to make themselves look like a hero.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Eddie visits Texas, where he attempts to reconcile with his father.
Yeah, good job, Eddie. Also doing important work, you know?
So he's not going back to being a firefighter? Not away?
Not just yet.
Oh, okay.
No, gotta go Texas first.
Damn it. All right. Oh, so Jonah is a psychopath. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, and the episode title is Hero Complex.
Right. Okay.
And will include such things as children at threat, a child having to perform CPR, someone suffering a heart attack while driving, depiction of kidnapping, of needles, of non-consensual drug use. We're going to go back to the spiders briefly, with the spiders and the webs, and we're also going to touch on some unethical journalism.
Need to wear my
Taylor.
women's rights and wrongs t-shirt next week. For no reason.
No reason whatsoever. Like, it's not like there's one character in particular that we know as a journalist.
Sure,
love
it's some
a bit
other
of
journalist. It's
non-ethical
fine.
journalism around here. Well, I thought this was a great episode.
This was a great episode. Like, apart from the fact that the big emotionally stirring moment did not stir any of my emotions, other than humour, I really did enjoy this episode. I thought that the way they...
It's the problem with the rewatches. But it's interesting because, like, rewatching Albert's car crash, for example, gets me every time. But this one, I'm
Albert's
just like...
car crash,
right.
and everyone rushing in to lift the fire truck off Buck, like, has me in tears every single time. This one, no. Twizzlers just make me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, noticing that probably takes you right out of the scene. I didn't notice, so next time I watch, I will be noticing that and be like, oh, here it is.
But yeah, the the story itself is good. The way they tell the story, the way that it like starts at, there's no sort of slow build up. We're sort of dropped in the middle of like a high intense scene, and it just gets more intense.
Yeah.
I love that we get Eddie getting to be a big damn hero and remember that like that is actually what he wants to do and what he is good at doing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that in a cinematography point of view, the directing in this episode is really good as well. Like the way the scenes like cut back and forth to build the tension and everything is excellent.
Yes.
It's done really well.
It's a very smart episode and a good one to watch.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about it. I just really enjoyed it.
And that's enough. Sometimes it's enough just to enjoy an episode.
Yeah.
Especially when it is a good episode to enjoy.
Yes.
Although rip Claudette, we will not miss you, probably.
Yeah, I was
I
was surprised that I was thinking like if she actually died at the end of this, we never actually found out what happened to her. Like we just get little snippets of what, like, you know, the scars and the,
yeah,
you know, her panicking. We never actually find out any details apart from that. So,
but I don't think we need any details.
No,
we get
we
enough
don't.
to
We don't.
to flesh out sort of the storyline, enough of her storyline that we need for everything to make sense.
Yep.
It would have been like very unrealistic if she'd sat there and done like a 10-minute monologue explaining to May exactly what happened to her in the midst of the fire.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't need to know all the details. I was just surprised that they actually killed her off before, you know,
but could you,
anything
just jumping into the character's head for a moment, could you imagine you survive your second fire? Like, you had the unluckiest moment of your life is you get stuck in a second fire and you survive it.
Yeah, only to have
die
a heart attack.
For something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Like, if there are ghosts and an afterlife, Claudette is there going, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, and she's coming after Jonah.
Why?
She's going to be bullying Jonah as he's going around.
Apparently sucks for Jonah, because he's about to get cursed.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you thought about this episode. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as we did. Maybe not the second or third time or fourth, however many times you're up to. But
yeah, it's a good episode.
Yeah. Let us know what you thought. Leave us a comment on this episode's post on thatweewooshow.com or on Spotify or YouTube or via social media. Thank you so much for listening this week, and we will talk to you next time about episode 17, which is called Hero Complex. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
911 is a fictional show, but many of the situations portrayed happen in the real world too. If any of the topics we've discussed in this episode have affected you, please know you're not alone. You can call or text numbers in your country for help. Just Google crisis support in your location to find out the number. If you enjoy our podcast, you can help us out by leaving us a review on Spotify or your preferred listening app, and by sharing our social media posts. Find out more at thatweewooshow.com.